Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you how to upgrade the electronics into this new board that you just received. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to open the enclosure by removing these 4 plastic screws. Now, you probably don't want to do this with a power drill because you can break the screws, particularly putting them in more than pulling them out. So sometimes after you get these 4 screws out, the enclosure is going to be somewhat sealed shut. And if that's the case, then you can just take a small screwdriver and put it in the seam here and break the seal on it and open it up. So I have this unit completely unplugged. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this blue and white connector out of the corner. Then I'm going to loosen the greens and pull them off. And the only thing now that's going to be holding this board in place is going to be these 2 mounting screws, one here and one here. So I'm going to get a Phillips screwdriver now, and I'm going to loosen those 2. Again, you probably don't want to use a power drill on this because these screws are sunk into a plastic, it's basically a plastic nut. So if the power drill goes too fast, it will melt those. Of course, in the event that you do melt one or something happens, you really only need one of these to hold the board into place. And there's 4 positions. So you can see this board only has 2 of them in there. That's the standard. So all we need to do is get these 2 out. And after I take these 2 out, I'm going to be able to remove the board. Now, half of the purpose of this video is to show you this little thing here that's on the side. This is the antenna. Don't worry about the antenna. You can simply pull the board out. The antenna is connected onto the Wi-Fi chip with a small connector here. So you can pull that off. And then the new units have more power and less antenna. So you can just rip that off to the side. Now all we're going to do, we're going to get these 2 screws out of here. If you have a magnetic screwdriver, that could be helpful for that. We're going to put the new board in. Now notice the new board, the old board was square, the new board's not. So basically this tab, you want to point towards the top of the enclosure. You're going to have to lift up these cable harnesses, and you can drop that baby in there. You don't need to replace the antenna. Now I'm going to put screws back in, and the reassembly steps are quick. One little trick here is you have to see this connector has a little notched side here, and that side goes up against the wall in there, and I'm going to push that back on. Now with this connector it's a little tricky because you can put it on halfway on, either 1 pin this way or 1 pin that way is hanging off. So you want to be sure you got both of those on there. And the telltale sign will be that when you reapply power, you're not going to get any activity on the LED at all. So now I'm going to put this second mounting screw back in. There we go. Now my board is securely in place. I have messed up the antenna a little bit there, but that's okay. Now I'm just going to make sure, I'm just going to press down on this Wi-Fi module. I'm going to make sure that it is in all the way, which it is. And looks like I haven't tightened this screw down completely, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And give this one a couple more turns. There we go. The board's only a couple of ounces. Those 2 screws are more than overkill to hold it in place. So with that done, I'm going to go ahead and put the cover back on and seal it up. And this concludes the phase on how to actually replace the electronics. Now if you want, you can just put these in with 1 screw and leave it loose just in case you think you may need to get back in there. For the next phase, we're going to show you how to put your alarm, reconnect your alarm back to the local Wi-Fi network.